You're right. That must be it.
Wait,
Very
I was
quickly,
gonna
let's
say-
go through the end of your notes. I'm going to go through this very quickly, okay? Now, we talked yesterday about non-disjunction. This is when the tetrads don't separate, which means one gamete will get 2 homologous chromosomes and one will only get a single homologous chromosome, okay?
Wait, one gamete gets both?
One gamete gets both, the other one doesn't get any, okay? If the gamete without any chromosomes at that spot, if it's fertilized, it results in a monosomy, okay? Which means there's only one chromosome from the other parent in that individual. So rather than 2 homologous chromosomes, they have a single chromosome, hence the term monosomy, okay? Now in humans, this is such a dangerous thing. You need every little bit of DNA you can get to function, that the only monosomy you can live with is on the least important chromosome to survival, and that's the sex chromosomes, okay? Turner syndrome are individuals who have just one X chromosome. In fact, sometimes it's called XO syndrome. Why XO?
Because they have no Y.
There's a 0 right
Zero.
there, right? It's also sometimes called 45. Why would it be called 45?
Instead of 46.
That's right, because they only have 45 chromosomes, okay? It's sometimes called 45
Individuals can
syndrome.
only have one in it.
So they only have one sex chromosome, okay? Now, would they look male or female?
Female.
Female, because there's no Y, right? There's no Y here. These individuals will appear female, but they're generally infertile. In other words, they can't get pregnant. And I don't think they can even produce viable eggs for that matter. Now, generally individuals like this are a little bit shorter. They have some developmental problems. In other words, they develop slower than other people. But all in all, it's not too noticeable except for a weird, I know it's strange, they tend to have webbed necks. In other words, they have a lot of skin from here to here, although there's surgeries that treat that. It's the only very noticeable effect. While they tend to be a little bit smaller and a little developmentally challenged, it's not to any great deal of Turner syndrome. So they can live very normal lives.
Is it genetic?
It would be genetic, but
They can't have kids.
in that it wouldn't be passed down by them. Does that make sense? So it would be caused by a mutation in the mother or a mutation in the mother or the father for that matter would cause that.
Is it like rare or is it pretty common?
It's pretty rare. I think it's less than 1 in less than 100,000.
Oh.
What's the egg?
It means nothing's there. That's a 0. Does that make sense? Okay. So if the gamete that got none of those chromosomes fertilized, we get monosomy. But what happens if the one that got 2 fertilizes?
Disomy.
Trisomy, because you now got 2 from one parent and 1 from the other for a total of how many?
3.
3. So 3 homologous chromosomes cause a trisomy.
Wait, when it crosses, 3 go one way and 1 goes the other, or
No, okay,
they
so-
all go one and none?
So when they split, this one will get 1, this one will get the other one, but it will get nothing here, and this one will get the full tetrad, right?
And that's
But if this
monos-
fertilizes, it will join with another gamete like this, and so you'll get 1 chromosome there. But if this fertilizes, it's going to fertilize with one like this, and you'll get 1, 2, 3 chromosomes. Does that make sense? Okay. So the trisomy, it turns out trisomy is not quite as bad in that you can survive a trisomy as long as it's in a very unimportant chromosome. Now, other than the sex chromosomes, the next least important chromosome is 21. And if you have 3 21s, you have what's known as Down syndrome, or trisomy 21. So you have 3 21 chromosomes, a number 21 chromosomes, that results in Down syndrome. And I'm sure you've all known people who have Down syndrome. It is fairly common compared to some other developmental disorders. And the result is a slow development and a different distribution of mass. In other words, the bone density in the skull tends to be thicker, and the formation of the eyes seem to be a little bit different. Okay, a little bit smaller and a little bit wider. Okay, now we will finish this up tomorrow. It's just a little bit, but your homework for tonight is page 283, 1 through 20. That's our review. We're going to review tomorrow and finish up the last few notes here. John Michael.
I looked something up about the XYY thing, and it's